Some men are sculpted by fame, others by fortune, but a few, very few, are shaped by something deeper, something quiet, something invisible. Loss, loneliness, the refusal to hate. Keanu Reeves isn't an actor who became a hero. He is a human who became a mirror of grace, of grief, of what it means to suffer silently and still protect the light. Beirut, the city that spoke first in bombs. Before Keanu spoke his first word, the world had already screamed at him. Born in Beirut, 1964, a city with bullet holes in its windows and smoke in its lullabies. His arrival into the world was not wrapped in soft blankets, but in instability. His father, Samuel Reeves, was a man of many roots: Hawaiian, Chinese, Irish, Portuguese, but with no grounding. A geologist by trade, a drifter by spirit. His mother, Patricia, young and searching, had the eyes of someone who had dreamed of theater, but found herself designing costumes instead. They were never going to last, not in Beirut, not in peace, not in chaos. When Keanu was 3 years old, his father left, not with violence, but with absence, the most confusing kind of abandonment. It doesn't explain itself. It doesn't slam doors, it just vanishes. Years later, when asked about his father, Keanu didn't cry, he didn't rage. He said, he just wasn't there. 4 words, a lifetime of pain compacted like granite.
Fame gives you fans, grief gives you truth. Keanu Reeves reached the mountaintop movies, money, millions watching. But as the world cheered, his heart broke in silence. He lost a brother, a child, a woman he loved. And still he chose gentleness. Still he chose humility. This is not a tale of stardom. This is a tale of a man who kept walking through fire without ever asking for applause. River Phoenix, the brother that wasn't blood. In 1991, Keanu met a young actor who would become his mirror, River Phoenix. River was wild, where Keanu was still. He was soulful, electric, broken in ways few could see. They weren't just friends, they were kindred spirits. Filming My Own Private Idaho, they shared more than scenes. They shared fears, dreams, moments when the world felt like too much and too little all at once. Keanu never spoke much about River in public, but those who knew them said they laughed like children and listened like monks. They were both haunted, but together it felt less lonely. Then, the 31st of October, 1993, River died on the sidewalk outside the Viper Room. Keanu was filming in New Hampshire when he heard. He didn't scream, didn't curse the heavens. He just stood still, a stillness that never quite left him after that. Later, when asked how he felt, he whispered, "I miss him deeply, and nothing more." Because sometimes words feel like betrayal. The peak in the pit from speed to stillness, speed 1994, changed everything. Keanu became the face of adrenaline, a new kind of action hero, not macho, not cocky, just quietly capable. Hollywood wanted more, but when offered Speed 2 with millions on the table, he turned it down. Why? He wanted to play Hamlet in Winnipeg instead. The press mocked him. Agents panicked. But Keanu wasn't chasing the spotlight. He was chasing something deeper. Meaning, depth, discipline. The kind you don't find on yachts and sequels. The kind you find on stage in soliloquies about life and death. Critics laughed. Audiences listened. He had risked it all for art. That was Keanu's rebellion. Not noise, but integrity. Jennifer Syme, Love in the Shadows. In 1998, Keanu met Jennifer Syme, a quiet, luminous soul. She wasn't part of Hollywood's loudest circles. She worked behind the scenes. Maybe that's why he was drawn to her. She felt real, uncomplicated. They were private. No red carpet fanfare. No social media spectacle. Just two people building a life in quiet hope. In 1999, they were expecting a child, a girl. They named her Ava Archer Syme Reeves. But at 8 months, Ava was stillborn. The grief was unspeakable. Something inside both of them cracked. The relationship struggled. The pain too fresh. The silence too heavy. They drifted, gently, painfully, as if trying not to break what little was left. Then, in 2001, Jennifer died in a car crash. In 2 years, Keanu lost a child and the woman he loved. The world knew him as Neo. But behind the sunglasses and bullet time was a man who couldn't sleep, a man who cried quietly on set, a man who once said, "Grief changes shape, but it never ends." And still, he showed up to every set, to every life that needed him. The choice not to disappear. In Hollywood, pain often becomes fuel for ego, or excuses, or addiction. But Keanu chose something else. To be useful, he gave away millions from the Matrix to crew members, the people behind the scenes whose names never flash on posters. He funded a friend's cancer treatment. He rode the subway, gave up his seat, smiled at strangers. Not for cameras, but because that's what decent people do. He never played the victim, never sold his suffering. Instead, he let his sorrow turn into something rare. Empathy without agenda. The man behind the meme. As internet culture began to memify his quietness, sad Keanu, the world laughed. But many didn't realize the meme wasn't about weakness. It was about something we all recognize but rarely admit: loneliness, resilience, the sacred act of sitting with pain, not hiding from it. And perhaps, just perhaps, that image of Keanu on a park bench, holding a sandwich with a 1,000-yard stare, wasn't sad at all. Maybe it was holy. The philosophy of absence. Keanu doesn't speak in sound bites. He speaks in pauses. In interviews, he often answers with a breath, as if he's deciding not just what to say, but whether the question deserves a response. He once said, "You have to change your life if you're not happy. That's the rule." Not a grand speech, just a rule. Simple, unforgiving, true. He became a student of Buddhism without labeling himself a Buddhist. He respected religion without preaching it. He believed in love without demanding it. He remained unbranded, and in a world obsessed with labels that made him legendary.